Greetings, travelers. Welcome back to the wild review of Fractured and Alterac Valley. This video is for the Druid class. In the context of Wild, Druid almost always has 2 or 3 decks. Aggro Druid with low to the ground, curve of minions, usually pirates, buff those and with cards like Mark of the Lotus and finish them off with Savage Roar. Token Druid, which is make a bunch of tokens, finish them off with Savage Roar. And some kind of combo Druid in current Wild Celestial alignment with a finisher like Malygos. So Druid is kind of hard locked into those being the playable archetype, so it's really hard to branch out from that. We'll see if the new cards introduce anything that can help kind of break the shackles of Druid and see anything else that's more interesting. Starting with Heart of the Wild. Heart of the Wild is 3 mana spell, give a minion +2/+2, then give your beast +1/+1. So for Aggro Druid, this card's too expensive. For Token Druid, the tokens aren't a very good mix for this, because the tokens from Glowfly Swarm are beasts, the tokens from Whispering Woods and Arbor Up are not beasts. Celestial Alignment is obviously not interested in this. Unfortunately, that means this card's a dud. We're going to D-tier this. Alright, next up is Prideseeker. 3 mana 2/4 minion, Battlecry. Your next choose 1 card costs 2 less. Well, Prideseeker's designed to play nice with another card in the set, Pathmaker. 3 mana 3/4 Battlecry. Cast the other choice from the last choose 1 spell that you played. So these are choose 1 enablers. Building a deck around choose 1 as a mechanic is kind of dubious in Wild. The old Quest Druid deck with untapped potential saw some play but never really gained very much traction. Didn't end up being very powerful in Wild. This card and Pathmaker would slot into a deck like that. You end up with a few problems trying to force something like that. First off, these cards aren't strong enough to really push that style of deck to the next level. And second, any Druid minion that costs 4 or less is going to have to continue with an issue with concerning compatibility with Oaken Summons. Oaken Summons basically defines what's playable for Druid minions below a certain point. Minions with Battlecry and poor stats are very, very, very rarely useful. This is an example of a card where if it doesn't fit with Oaken Summons, it's not going to see any traction. Both Prideseeker and Pathmaker have the same problem there. Unfortunately, that means we're going to have to put both cards in the D tier for Druid. Next up is Wing Commander Mulvrik. 4 mana 2/5 minion with Rush. Your minions have Honorable Kill, summon a 2/2 Werven with Rush. Again, we have to do the Oaken Summons test. Does this minion suck off of Oaken Summons? Not exactly. It's not great, but it's not the worst. The idea is you can use this minion a lot like you would have used Park Panther. It's where you get this off of Oaken Summons, you get to attack with it, you get to start summoning more minions. The minions that you already have on board also get this benefit. The trick is having a board state where you can play this card into a board that is easy to exploit. There's some circumstances where that makes sense, like sometimes against Pirate Warrior or something. You're probably going to get run over very quickly if you're playing a card like this against a Pirate Warrior, so I'm not really seeing it. The same for other aggro decks too. It's pretty underpowered compared to the other things that you could be doing with Oaken Summons. We're going to call this one C tier because it's not 100% trash, but it's not great either. Next up is Claw Fury Adept. 2 mana 2/3 Beast. Battlecry. Give all friendly characters +1 attack this turn. We're not going to apply the Oaken Summons test because this doesn't fit in an Oaken Summons deck. This fits in the aggro deck that doesn't play Oaken Summons. Is it good enough to see play in that deck? Absolutely. It's Savage Roar and a stick for less mana. Well, not quite Savage Roar, like half of a Savage Roar, but it comes with a body, and you're not embarrassed to play it early. Unlike Savage Roar, where like if you play Savage Roar and you're not killing your opponent or doing a lot of damage, it's kind of a waste. You can play this minion and feel good about it to facilitate trades, to be able to do light damage, and you can use it as a finisher. This card's a slam dunk. I'm going to be generous, and I'm going to call this an A tier card. Next is Capture Coldtooth Mine. 2 mana spell. Choose 1. Draw your lowest cost card or draw your highest cost card. This follows in line with a lot of other Druid 2 mana draw spells that you see, like draw 1 card with an upside or draw 1 card conditionally. Draw your highest cost card is obviously a good combo enabler. Playing it alongside like Celestial Alignment is kind of weird because you would try to use this to fetch Celestial Alignment, but usually Celestial Alignment decks have win conditions that are more expensive than Celestial Alignment, which is kind of the whole point of Celestial Alignment. So it might fit into that deck. It's a little weird. The utility for drawing the lowest cost card, like in an old style like Aviana Coon combo deck, being able to draw Innervate to enable your Aviana Coon combo might be decent. Anyway, this card has potential. I'm going to call this one a B tier card. Next, Frostwolf Kennels, 3 mana spell. At the end of your turn, summon a 2/2 wolf with stealth, lasts 3 turns. This is the Druid objective card. Pretty underwhelming. 2/2 stealth minions aren't particularly strong. For 3 mana, I would want to get all those minions up front, instead of waiting a few turns to get them. I'm not impressed. D tier. Crosssaver Matriarch, 7 mana, 4/5 beast with taunt, costs 1 less for each beast you've summoned this game. Druid in Wild doesn't really summon beasts, besides like Spreading Plague or something. Even if that changes, this card isn't good. D tier. Dire Frost Wolf, 4 mana, 4/4 beast, stealth, the death rattle, summon a 2/2 wolf with stealth. This is pack filler. D tier. Alright, finally, the hero card for Druid, Wildheart Guff. 5 mana hero. Battle Cry, set your maximum mana to 20, gain a mana crystal, draw a card. This card has a lot of text and it's interesting to unpack. I'm not quite sure exactly how to evaluate this. In the context of like heavy top-end Druid decks now that all revolve around Celestial Alignment, Wildheart Guff is at least playable. Before Celestial Alignment, you can play it on 5, gain 5 armor, gain a mana crystal to bump you up to 7 next turn for alignment, draw a card. The setting your maximum mana available to 20 lingers past Celestial Alignment, I assume. Even though your mana gets reset, you still have a potential max of 20. That potential max of 20 is not going to be relevant after Celestial Alignment, but that's not really important. The hero power for this is Nurture. 2 mana, choose 1, draw a card, or gain a mana crystal. Before Celestial Alignment again, if you don't have Celestial Alignment yet, you can draw cards, you can ramp to it. That's not terrible for a deck that basically bides its time until it's able to combo. After Celestial Alignment, the hero power doesn't really do very much of anything. But that's okay. After Celestial Alignment, this card becomes 1 mana, gain a mana crystal, gain 5 armor, draw a card. It's not embarrassing. It gets you ahead on mana, you get to cycle it. It's okay. Kind of the funny thing about Guff in Celestial Alignment is it's not really necessary. It doesn't do anything essential for the combo. It doesn't really improve your survivability against aggro before the combo. It doesn't do anything to disrupt opponents. It really doesn't do anything except ramp for that deck. It seems a little superfluous, a little redundant. Is there any home for this outside of Celestial Alignment though? Like other slow Druid decks usually fall back on Malfury and the Pestilent, which has a more active hero power and a battle cry that affects the board, which seems pretty important. Setting maximum mana to 20 is kind of a meme combo thing, and in a world with Celestial Alignment, it's absolutely redundant. Unfortunately, that means that Wildheart Guff is probably just an also-ran in Celestial Alignment, at least for the time being. I'll put it in B tier because people probably will play it. Altogether, the Druid cards seem really underwhelming. The theme that they all fit around in Fracture and Alterac Valley, revolving around like wolves with stealth and stuff like that, falls pretty flat. The choose 1 mechanic cards aren't that powerful for Wild, not that interesting. That being said, there are some playable cards. Claw Fury Adept will see play. Capture Cold Tomb Mine will see play. Wildheart Guff will see play. Whether those cards are exceptionally powerful, where they will see play, is another story entirely, but at least it's some fresh blood. Anyway, that's it for Druid. Next video up is going to be for the Hunter class. Be sure to check that video out. Hope to see you there. Thanks for watching.